Good news, everybody. Matthew Mew back here with a new video. I'm not going to be doing one of my Let's Plays today. I'm going to do a build video. This is my standard build that I use throughout most of the game. It does my dungeons, it does my farming, and everything. It works really well. I call it my staying alive build. So, we are going to go over the skills that I use, and I'm going to use everything else. Weapon-wise, I use dual axes and a longbow. I'll go over the stats of those later. For the skills, I use Healing Surge. This one is important because this is the way I use it. It's also the skill that's going to give me the most health. Everything else doesn't matter. This is the only one that matters to me. My skills, I use All Shouts, I use For Great Justice, Shake It Off, and On My Mark. My elite is Signet of Rage. There really aren't any good warrior elites. That's the closest one. Sometimes I'll use Battle Standard once in a great while. I don't like it because it's got such a huge recharge time. And it looks like they've lowered the recharge time, I think, because it used to be like over 200 seconds. Now it's 192. Don't know where they're getting 192 from. Maybe that's my stats for this. I think that might affect your recharges. I am not sure. But let's get on to my traits. Now, the point of this build is to do damage over the long run and be able to stand up. It's not about doing burst damage, so I'm not worrying about crits. I'm not worrying about a ton of power. If I want to do a little bit more power, I can change a few of my stats and things, but for the most part, I put 20 into my strength, which gives me reckless dodge and building momentum, but I normally use either great fortitude or dual wielding. Great fortitude is great for staying alive. As you can see, when I have this on, I have 31,000 health. That's a lot of health. And then my main, I use Axe Mastery. I could use Slashing Power if I were using a great sword, so you can use this with a great sword. In general, I would use dual wielding if I want to do more damage. If I want to stay alive better, great fortitude. I normally keep it on great fortitude. Defense, I put another 20 in. Thick skin, that one's pretty good and helpful. It regenerate health based on adrenaline level. That's a good one too. I like that skill, because this build does not use adrenaline. You are not using your adrenaline skills. That is the point of this build. But I normally use Dodged March or Sure-Footed. And then my second one, I either use Cleansing Ire or Last Stand. Depends on what the situation is going on. If I am using something where I'm going to get knocked down a lot, Last Stand here, which will activate the Balance Stance, is very helpful. It only does it once every 90 seconds, but that's a minute and a half. That's not too bad. And I'm not even using that skill typically. And Tactics, I just shove everything else into Tactics, because this is the important part of my build. So I do not want to use Inspiring Damage. I either use Empowered if I want to do more damage, or Empower Allies if I want to give all my allies a little bit more damage and help them out, or Stronger Bowstrings. Typically, I use Stronger Bowstrings. This skill is not important to me. That's not the one that is the most important. This one is great. Lung capacity. All my shouts are recharging 20% faster. That means I get them off sooner. That's important to me. This is the most important skill. Vigorous Shouts. All my shouts heal. That's what makes this build so powerful. So my shouts not only heal me, I believe it heals everyone else, if I remember correctly. I It's been a while since I tested that. Now you're asking, what if I want to do more damage? Typically, I would take 20 out of defense, believe it or not. And I put another 10 in, or I take 10 out of my defense, so I only have 10 defense, and shove a little bit more into my strength. Typically, I go with Berserker's Power. The more adrenaline I'm going to build up, which does happen, I get more damage. Combining that with something like dual wielding, and then my axe mastery, and my empowered, would really stack up my damage a lot more. It depends on what I'm trying to do, like I said. So that's the skills and the traits that I've been using. Equipment. I use Soldier's equipment. Sentinels is also really good. Soldiers is good if you want to do more power. Sentinels is better if you want to stay alive a little longer. Sentinels was not out when I invented this, or when I came up with this build. So as you can see, I got power, toughness, and vitality. That's Soldier's gear. The main big boost being power. And I'm using heritage armor. I just grabbed... Originally, this armor came from temples, because you can't craft soldier gear. I got these ones from the temples. You can look it up on Wiki. I can't remember which one came from which. And then the helm, they don't make a helm for these stats, so I had to get one from one of the dungeons. I believe it was AC, Ascalon Catacombs, is what the helm I got was, so I got the power, toughness, vitality, and I just stuck Superior Rune on the soldiers on all of them. See, this is what's important, because I'm gaining a lot of vitality, a lot of toughness, and every shout removes a condition. That is what's nice about this build. I lose a lot of conditions. It doesn't take long. I'm always using 4 Great Justice, so every, 16 seconds when that recharges, I'm removing a condition. On my mark, every, I believe it'd be 19 seconds, maybe 18. That one causes vulnerability. That's removing another condition. I use those two a lot. Shake it off. Everybody loves this skill because it removes a condition for them. With mine, it's removing 2 conditions. So I remove 2 conditions from myself. It may also remove 2 conditions from my allies. I'm not sure on that one. I haven't tested it. My weapons would be soldier weapons, except can't craft soldier weapons. So I don't know what I'm going to have. Originally I had Magic Find gear when they did the Magic Find update. That got rid of a lot of it. But basically I've been sticking with power. Anything increasing my toughness and vitality, those types of things, typically. And then I got condition damage. They're not important. I need to get better weapons for that. Same thing here. I've got a Berserker's bow. You can go with Berserker's weapons. That would probably be a really nice touch, too. To increase your damage. If you want to have a little bit more health, try and find some soldier ones. My backpack is a soldier's backpack. It's power, toughness, and vitality. I got this one recently. Boy, you don't see it on there. I got this one recently through my guild. I didn't realize there was a power, toughness, vitality one. It's not as good as my Wayfarer's, but that one's... whatever. I'll eventually craft a better one. My stats, I use the Thackeray family crest right there. Power, toughness, vitality, and I got a vitality infusion on it. Same with my Royal Signet of Doric. That's power, toughness, vitality. And that has vitality also on it. And then I've got the Lost Seal of Usuku. That one's power, toughness, vitality. They're all soldier gears. This one actually has power in that one. My other equipment, I need to get soldier gear for that. I haven't upgraded it yet. Originally, this one was a Magic Find item. it's not anymore. I could put something else in here, but right now, power, precision, and toughness, I'm fine with it. And then I've used my ancient Carcar Shell of the Explorer. I just keep using it. I just haven't upgraded it. I need to change some of these out and fix things, but I will eventually get a... Remember, this build, unless you have a soldier rune on your breather, it's not going to work for you, because you're not going to start removing conditions, and I find that a big pain in the butt when that happens to me. You start doing some condition, or I mean, you put a soldier rune on this one, then you'll be okay. I'm waiting until I can get the new soldier gear one. That's a gold rare, because then I'll have a much better one for that. A lot of my stuff was originally Magic Find stuff before they changed it, so I really haven't gotten new weapons for a lot of that stuff. But anyways, that's my Staying Alive build. If you have any questions, just ask me. Be happy to answer them. And in case you're wondering about the skin on my character, it's the Heritage skin. It's from the Hall of Monuments. I have red and gold on it. That's what I like. That's what I'm sticking with for now. I'll see you guys in a bit.